All right, we're live. We're live, episode 108. Got Dizzy live over on Twitch. And I did forget something. Forgot to turn on the music here in game. Yes, ominous, isn't it? Horrific. We're going to play some Pathfinder once again, folks. It's good fun. I'm doing this for almost, I'd say 3 years by now, which is insane for an AP. But we've had a lot of fun. Took our time. Not trying to treat it as a race or anything. We had a lot of additional stuff I added to the campaign. It's played out and made some interesting, fun situations. And who knows, we might see more of it. Who can tell? But tonight we got 3 of our 4 players ready to go. Jesse will be missing tonight, sadly. He's usually on every other week. This was his night to be on, but his phone died. He plays remotely, so he won't be joining us tonight. Rachel might be late. She might not show up at all. This makes me so sad. But we'll see. She might come in. She's got family over and things going on. Hey, don't we all? We'll see if she joins us. But we still have 3 hardened players here, taking on the roles of their characters, which they will introduce next. So let's do that. Kyle, let's start with you. Introduce your character tonight. One of 2 that you'll be playing for the remainder of this campaign. Go ahead and introduce this newish character you added last week. Newish. Kyle, go ahead. Kyle. Alright, let's try Ted.
I was going to say he might have stepped away for a minute.
Hey guys, it's coming back ready for another round of fun, mayhem, and shenanigans here. Playing Rue, the catfolk barbarian. Got a little bit of sneaky side to him. Fiery temper. Definitely unpredictable, as we saw last time. We'll be explaining in the recap. But definitely looking to see what comes this week and see what shenanigans we can get up to.
Wow. Did great against that dragon. Very memorable, epic fight. That was the last episode, wasn't it, Ted? Was it the last one?
Yes, it was.
The battle with the black dragon.
Can y'all hear me now?
Can hear you, Kyle. While we're at it, go ahead and do your introduction, man.
What's up, guys? I'm Kyle. I'll be playing Sir Eric Dane of Blastwall. He's our newest character, Tower Shield Specialist. He's not our frontline heavy hitter. He's more of a very defensive unit. All about tactics, defense. You know, he's got really thick armor, big tower shield. One of my shorter human characters that I've ever made, 6'2", 195. But he can definitely stand up and hold his own. Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen tonight.
Go for it, Dizzy.
I play Celine, the hero of the group, who's also Angelkin. And tonight, we'll see what happens.
You guys. Indeed, we'll see what happens with this motley crew of companions. Alright. Let's do a recap, a little short, brief recap. Kyle's going to run us through what happened in the last episode, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it got intense in a hurry.
Go for it.
But yeah, we kind of picked off with, everybody was kind of asleep in that little alcove where the little stream was, and Caedwin had made a return. He was indeed not dragged down to the bottom of the depths, as the other party members had thought, and he brought a little bit of backup this time, in the form of Eric. I found the group, and they were in pretty rough shape from what I recall. But we were able to get everybody kind of patched up, healed up, and then we backtracked out of that area, and we went back down southeast around this tower and complex where those other what are they called, Caligni, are dwelling, and we saw a path leading to the east. Was a thick mud pit, not how would I say, not impassable, mud up to our knees in some spots. We went east. The mud got really deep. Things started to become a bit more desperate as water started flowing in there. So we abandoned that side. We went back to the left, and we found a little alcove of dry land. And we stepped up in there, and unfortunately, something saw us first. As a large, I think that was what the size of it was, a large black dragon appeared. Eric tried to speak to it, tried to appease it. That obviously wasn't going to happen. So it flew over and landed on this big, massive pile of gold and silver, and a pretty intense combat broke out. We were kind of all going fast and loose. Eric was playing super defensive. Tower shield up, using it for cover, attacking when necessary. Rue jumped on its back. Celine kept everybody with healing, and Aura was slinging those chakrams like she was a mad lady. And finally, we were able to fell this beast. We took the gold from the horde and took the creature's head because it was one of our quests, little side quests, where we had to liberate a dragon, deal with a dragon for the Caligni to escape back to the deep dark, or whatever that it's called, the dark lands. And that's kind of where we're at now. We're kind of recuperating, getting ourselves ready to rumble, getting the next plan ready to go. And yeah, that was a pretty good session. A lot of good play, a lot of good defense, a lot of good quality hits. Like, there wasn't really a whole lot of hits, but they were quality hits when we needed them. So very good at everybody.
Yeah, good defensive work from Eric. Rue putting on the offense with a raging Catman jumping on the dragon's back. Just wailing on it with his scimitar of power. Yeah, it was quite a dramatic battle. The cleric creeping around the corner, supporting and casting those spells, keeping everybody alive. And it paid off. I think Rachel had to leave that session early, so she missed that. Now she's coming into this one late, if she comes at all, so darn it. She's missing out on some good stuff. Yeah, that was an epic fight. I enjoyed that. That was the last episode, folks. Now, let's see how far we get tonight. So, if I recall, and Dizzy can correct me on this, we did some healing in the last session. Would that be correct? Was healing done?
We did knock out some healing.
Some. So if you guys have any more energy to spend on healing, you can go ahead and do that.
I think Rue's the one that's worst off.
Because I am keeping track of the time. 10 minutes per medicine check. Immune for an hour. Unless you have a feat that
Alright,
changes
knock
that.
out some healing then.
Yeah, go for it. It's going to be another... Tell me what you're doing. Medicine check or magic?
Medicine check.
Okay. Now, if you've already done that, they're immune for an hour. So who are you doing that on?
This one's gonna be on Ryu.
Alright, Rue.
Since that passed the D20, that would make it
if you called it out before you made the roll. You have to actually declare that you're taking the DC 20. I'll assume you did. It isn't automatic. You have the option to take the DC 20 instead of the normal DC 15 with a medicine check. The only requirement is that you're expert at medicine checks. So we'll assume that you are expert at it, right?
I am expert.
All right, so we'll assume you called it out. But in the future, state it beforehand. Just say you're taking the DC 20. That'll be 48.
Rue's taking back 17 hit points.
There you go, Ro. Okay, y'all set? Okay, you're all
Yep.
set. I'll bring everybody back into the token. Schlimp. Marching order is Eric, followed by Aura, followed by Celine, followed by Rue.
Sounds good.
Aura's still doing the tracking thing. Celine's doing searching, keeping her eyes open for tripwires and secret doors. Rue, he's scouting to the rear. Eric is defending with his shield raised at the start of any encounter. He's ready to go. Is that good?
Can I switch that to scouting to the front?
Yes. So you're keeping your eyes peeled in the front of the group, watching for any creatures that might pounce on you. Giving everybody in the group a +1 as you shout out early or otherwise indicate that, oh, danger's ahead, someone's there. So everyone would get a +1 on their initiative roll on any encounters to the front. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this chamber?
No, Eric, as Celine was getting everybody tended to, Eric would have begun to head for the entryway.
Okay. What's your intention? Where do you want to go? You are encumbered, correct? Aura is.
Aura is. Well, those Caligni are right close, so let's go drop off the head to the Caligni, and then we can fall back to the Drow Enclave.
So what were you doing first? What were you doing with the Caligni?
Taking the dragon's head to the Caligni, completing that little side quest.
All right. Get out into the mud areas here, and going is really slowed down because of Aura. You guys are just... You have to help her pull her out of the mud in a few instances. Time is going by. No, let's not do it that way. Let's actually roll. As you get to the edge of the mud flat here, though, whatever you want to call it, you hear the sounds of feet coming up from behind you. Couldn't possibly have been from where you were, you think to yourself. That was no exits out of there. But there is another path here, going to the southeast. That seemed to be an endless journey. It sounds like something is coming up behind you. You can hear footfalls. They're like slowly moving forward in the mud. You hear the sucking sound. Any response to that?
Well, Rue's scouting to the back, makes sure no sneaks up. If he's hearing something, he's going to look more intently, see if he can make anything out.
Okay. You could pause for a second and make a... If you want, Rue, you could pause for a second and make a blind perception roll for me. It's hard to see in the dark. Ooh. Okay. You think you could make out in the dimmer portion of the light cast by Eric's glowing something. Shadows. More than one. Moving. They're small. They're not tall. They look humanoid. But you see shadows movement. Might not even be a humanoid, but you swear you see arms and a head.
Rue will call up to Eric and tell him to pause, to hold. We're being followed. Could be the ones who were following us before. I think they were the Drow, but we want to make sure that it's not something else.
Yeah, as soon as he calls out, Eric will kind of motion for Aura to move past him, and he'll move up and stand kind of beside Rue. Okay, he'll kind of call out to the shadows. Hello?
There's no reply, and there was silence. You haven't heard anything, Eric. Rue, you're the only one that heard that. You don't see movement in the shadows from the light now. So, just to show you, right here is the length of the distance of your light. That's the dim zone. Anything beyond that is complete darkness, unless you have dark vision. But you don't see anything.
Eric will pause and listen. See if he can hear anything slurping in the mud.
Alright, I'm gonna mark off more time here. And go ahead and make a blind perception roll as you attempt to listen carefully. You all remain still, I assume. Silence. Either Rue was dreaming, or...
Rue will call out and sack Roth. Come on out, show yourself before someone gets hurt.
There's nothing.
Eric will call out in Draconic, kind of the same thing that Rue did. Come on out, show yourself. There's no need for this to end badly.
You hear a loud bang echoing from the region behind you in this direction. You're not sure what it was. It sounded like something being slammed shut.
Did it sound distant or pretty close?
Distant.
Eric will kind of motion to Rue. If we're engaged from both sides, we need to go now.
Oh, lead on.
And Eric will kind of begin to continue, kind of leading everybody back toward the Caligny stronghold, if you will.
You want to go along the south wall, or do you want to go up the middle?
I'll take along the south wall. More opportunities for cover that way.
You see the building, which has no windows or anything like that. But you know there is a door, a double door, on the other side. As you draw closer, you hear that loud bang again. And it's coming from this direction that you're traveling in, up towards there.
Yeah, Anorin will halt everybody, kind of keep his shield raised.
It's taken you literally an hour. Well, 40 minutes actually, since you left the dragon's lair to get where you currently are. That's how slow we are.
Can I see anything up ahead? Can I hear any like languages or anything being spoken, or is it just that bang?
Just a bang sound. You're not sure what it is. Could be a door, could be a chest, could be something banging on a shield.
And I'll continue to move slowly.
Alright, you get back up to this open area where to the right is the double doors. They are locked shut. That's where the Caligni are. And to the left, of course, the west, you see the small boathouse where you actually took up refuge and rested a while.
Rue will go over to one of the sets of doors. He'll knock on the door and announce that they're back to have a report on the dragon that they were asked to slay.
As Ruth does that, Eric will kind of form up at the rear of the group, kind of raising his shield in case something happens.
So you're banging on the door?
Yep, you bang on the door. Who's trying to knock? If you would at anybody's home.
As soon as your knuckles make impact with the door, they lock in place. And before you can pull your hand back after that initial, you feel a surge of energy pulse through your body. Give me a basic reflex save. This is public.
$31.
You pull yourself away just in time with your incredible reflexes, Rue, cat-like. And you see a flicker of electricity go around the door. Not enough to get you free of any damage. You do take some damage here. You're gonna take 23 points of electric damage. Is that what it is? Electricity damage? I guess. Electricity. Yeah, electricity damage. But your reflexes helped you big time in that one.
Just for kind of puff out a little bit, stand on end.
Okay, I made a mistake. Let me retcon something, because I haven't done this for Dizzy. I'm gonna actually go back in time here. Normally I just let it go, but we're gonna go back here. Let me see, because Dizzy, I forgot. I was doing something here. La 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 la. Well, go ahead, Dizzy. You make the roll. Make a blind perception roll. I forgot this. So maybe he didn't take any damage.
On its way.
She notices nothing. Alright, so that happened. And you pull back away from the door. It was trapped. What do you do?
Rue will hiss angrily and look to the others. I don't think we should tell them. Maybe they should stay in here now.
We have a duty to uphold to get them to safety. We have to notify them.
Says who? It wasn't my mission.
Aura speaks up. Who are these people you speak of? Caligni, I believe?
Indeed, that's what I believe they've been come to be called.
And you expect to get some reward for the dragon's head?
Previous companions that died for this mission claim so.
How many of them are there?
Not sure, but if things go wrong, just hide behind my tower shield.
I'm not going to hide. How many of them are there? How are they armed?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure I trust them.
Don't have to trust them to gain a reward.
Everyone stand back. She puts her back up against the wall, but right where on the side she's standing. And she draws her sword. Shing! And she gets ready to rap on the door. And she looks to you, Celine. You better look at this door a little bit closer. Make sure there's no further traps. Celine, if you'd like to step forward and search it more thoroughly, you can do so.
Celine's also going to look at Aura and go, if you have the sword drawn and we open that door, they're going to instantly probably attack us if they see the sword drawn. Perhaps we walk in without the sword drawn, they might not attack us. Since I'm going to be checking the door, I'm guessing arcane.
No, perception. Blind.
Roll and come.
You don't see any indication of any traps, although you get the idea that this was probably some type of ward, magical ward. You don't see where it might be, but it's hidden in the door itself. Probably expired. If it is a ward, those things are usually one-shot deals, and that's it. But what did you find? Says Aura.
Not finding anything, though. If something was here, it might have just worn off as it's been inactive for a while.
She looks back towards Rue and Eric. What are you two doing? Taking up a defensive posture?
Eric will actually sheath his Valcod and go up and tap on the door.
Aura immediately steps forward and puts her hand on your chest, holding you back. And she immediately takes the butt of her sword and bangs on the door. You hear feet on the other side come running towards the door. And then there's silence. Aura quickly steps back with her sword at the ready. Suddenly the door begins to creak open. And you can see the lit room within. It's standing at the door, and he's only opened a crack. He's got full cover here. You see that Caligni. And he peeks at the door. Who are you? I've never seen any of you. What do you do?
Eric will kind of speak to him in Sakroth. We've destroyed your dragon.
He immediately tries to shut the door tight. But Aura jams her foot in the door, keeping it open. Who are you? What do you want? I'll call the guards.
We are the new companions in the area. We understand that you had a dragon problem, preventing you from returning home.
Alright, Aura's gonna have to make a athletics check against the athletics DC of the Caligny because he's trying to shut it. He doesn't know who you are. He's never seen you before. Are you speaking in Svakroth?
Yes, sir?
Okay. Let me make this public.
And if that doesn't work, then I will literally reach into Aura's bag and pull out the dragon's head.
She's going to use a hero point. Damn.
Rue's going to assist and start pushing the door open.
Aren't you going to assist? I'll let you do that. Well, let me roll this because it's kind of too late. This is a one-shot deal for her at the door, but if she's successful, if it happens again, you will make a roll to assist. Alright? This is just her in this case. She uses a hero point to re-roll this. There we go. Nice 32. Let me see what the DC would be. Yep. She forces in the door, and the creature stumbles backwards, and she immediately steps in. She's actually in the doorway, but I'm going to put her in here. Rue, I'm going to assume you follow up because you were on your way to help assist, so you can grab hold of the door at this stage. Now, we're not in encounter mode at this point. And Aura immediately has her... What is it? What do you do?
He'll reach out to make sure the door doesn't shut.
Okay. Aura has her sword out, and she has it right at the Caligny's neck. And she says, "My friends have brought something you've been looking for. We expect a reward." I'm not sure of what you mean. I don't know who you are. I've seen none of you before. "We have friends that you spoke with," says Aura. "They are the ones that made a deal with you, but we've taken their place now. My friend, it brings you something. Eric, come forward. Show them what you've brought."
Yeah, Eric will reach into Celine's bag and pull out the dragon's head and present it to them.
Am I not moving? Can you move your guy if I unpause it? Oh, I can't unpause. Uh-oh, I must be having an issue here. Darn it.
Yeah, it doesn't show you're in Foundry.
Okay, let me refresh here, and I'll try and narrate this. Okay, you go on. You go grab the bag. This is a big head. It's probably about 3 foot by 3 foot. I don't know. It's big. I don't know if you've factored that into your encumbrance, Celine, but it weighs a lot, making you encumbered as well. But regardless, you're already encumbered as a group. You get the head out, you bring it inside the room, you drop it to the floor, I imagine, and it splots, and you see all this ichor. It kind of burns you, Eric. This slime that's still in its mouth, it wasn't thoroughly cleaned before you cut its head and put it in the bag. It actually burned a hole in the bag, rendering it useless. But regardless, it's now on the floor. And the Caligny gasps. "The dragon! You slew the dragon!" Or immediately pulls her sword away from the creature's head. "Yes, we've slew it. Now tell your leader. We expect a reward. I shall tell him at once. Stay here. He immediately backs off, and towards the western end of the room, there's a door to the south part of the room. He disappears cautiously through there, closing the door behind him. And you hear his feet run off down some hallway. You guys can discuss amongst yourself while I reload.
But they actually have something that we're actually going to find useful here. It was good to complete a quest that the others could not.
Perhaps they might know of a way to open that door?
Perhaps. But if nothing else, then we brought the memory of the fallen some justice.
Or maybe we can even find out maybe what happened to that small island that we can't cross the bridge to.
Indeed. I think once we finish here, we should head back to this drow enclave. Get better supplies before we start hunting this night.
We couldn't have thought of anything better than what you just said, and I am totally agreeing to it.
We just hope this goes well. And Eric will kind of sigh and roll his shoulders, kind of setting his tower shield on the ground in front of him. The bottom edge of it anyway. He's still holding it. Kind of watching the figure step into the room. And very cautiously. He's not making a move to reach for his weapon yet. But he's watching them with anticipation.
Remember Dulac?
I do.
Who was
that Caligny cult leader from the floor above us, I think.
The cult of Earthagal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we killed their god.
Well, technically, the old companion did. We didn't do anything.
So that was the fun fight, though.
Shortly after, while you're having this conversation amongst yourself, the door to the west opens once again. And stepping through is one of the Calignis, followed by this other individual that you've never seen before. And another Caligny behind her. They cautiously enter the room. They have short crossbows at their side. I think they're crossbows. They have weapons drawn. But this one here doesn't. She looks to be the leader. And she introduces herself as Galudu. I am the leader of this alcove. The remnants of our people here. And I see you have brought a dragon's head. Interesting. And she looks at the head, and she glances up towards you as well. You are friends of these other companions that we made a deal with. Is that correct assumption?
Yes, indeed, my lady.
I don't see the companions amongst your number, however. But it is beside the point. You have slain this dragon. I can offer you a reward, but first you must take us out of this place to the Darklands. I would ask that you escort us. We are not in the best of shape. The ones you see here of my people are all that remains.
The path to the Darklands is pretty open to you, my lady.
So, basically, the original agreement was that you escort them to the Darklands. That was the original agreement. You don't just get it for bringing in the dragon's head. So if you're good with that, that's great. You'll get a reward. So she says. It's up to you.
It's not far.
It's a short
You can do
jump.
that.
Okay. You want to do that?
What was it you promised the companion?
I have something that might be of use. It is some type of wand. Yes, it's a wand. Perhaps your spellcaster can make use of it. But anyway, we'll expedite this. Now, as you're going to escort him past the dragon towards... Where are you going, Eric? You're the one leading this party's travels. Where is this route that you're going to take them to? That you say is no longer guarded?
Back past the way we came, back toward where we fought the dragon. Kind of escort him as far as the dragon's lair. Kind of.
I just want to make sure you know where it is.
Yeah, it's back.
Right. No
down
problem.
Southeast.
All right, you can make the journey up there, escorting the remnants. They're quick to pack their things and go. They don't have much, and they look like they're pretty beat up too. They're not in the best shape. At least one of them is really wounded. But anyway, you slowly, because you guys are so slow, it's going to take another hour to do this. You make your way up towards through the mud pits, and as you approach the southeast or the northeast corridor that's up there, they immediately recognize it, and they're very cautious as they approach through the mud, because this is where the dragon was and prevented them from escaping. It seems you have slain the dragon indeed, and given us our freedom back to the Darklands. Remember my name. It's Galodu. And look me up if you ever come back this way towards the Darklands. And in the meantime, take this as your reward. And she hands over this little wrapped sack of what seems to be a long stick inside of it. She says, "It's magical. I suggest you provide it to one of your spellcasters." And with that, she bids adieu, and she begins to head off down that corridor. So, there's 4 of them in all. And they're now gone. Let's get that wand and see what it can do.
Rue will look at the stick and he'll look at Celine and says, "Guess you can have that."
Indeed, a new weapon for you.
We'll hang on to it and perhaps barter it.
Yeah, because if it's all arcane spells, they're not on your list, you can't even use it. It's for a wizard. I have to find it first. Alright, so it's her wand. It's right here.
Maybe that little goblin can use it.
I'm gonna-
Indeed, I hear Sheppy's quite versed in spellcasting.
I put it in your inventory, Celine. If you'd like to take 10 minutes out to try and identify it right now, you can do that.
I'll do it.
Okay. That's adventurous. Let's see, what do I click here? This.
Guessing Arcana blind.
You could use any of the 4 traditions and it's blind. So for the next 10 minutes you start looking it over. What the rest of you doing? It's taking you a long time to get up here and get them out. What are you doing?
on its way.
Eric will kind of be looking through the rooms and such. And then he'll kind of call out to Rue and everybody else. We can make a makeshift shelter here.
Oh, you guys are still up in the mud pits again.
Rue's just kind of keep an eye out, make sure nothing sneaks up on them.
Okay. You're not actually in this building, Kyle. You're up in the mud pits.
Rue remembers the ones that were following that never identified themselves, so he's making sure that they're not trying to do anything or sneak up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sound sounded like they were coming from this direction. But anyway, they've disappeared. You don't hear anything or see anything else as you sit here waiting for another 10 minutes. And Celine, I just revealed what it is in your inventory. Go ahead and take note of that. Got it?
God.
Alright, so 10 minutes goes by. If you want to head back, you can do that now. It'll take some more time.
Well, would Aura still be encumbered now that we have the head off of her? The dragon's head, I mean.
Celine? Who carried it? Celine?
Aura.
Or a
Aura had the head?
Yeah.
Oh. You told me you were going into Celine's pack. Not Aura. Aura was in the room.
That was my bad then. I apologize.
It's okay. I'll just take that off of Aura's character, because that will free up her encumbrance problems. If that's what it is. Let me look for this head. See where she had it. Because she's definitely encumbered. She's got so much stuff in here. Oh my gosh.
Well, I think most of that's supposed to be in the bag of holding, so it'll be as encumbered.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking through.
Plus, you had me make the item a dragon's head. I don't know if you ever drug it over to her.
And still, she's encumbered. Something's making her encumbered. It's not in there. Let's look in a normal backpack. No, nothing in there.
Didn't we lump all the coins on her last time so we could divvy it up later? Did that do it?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, she's got over 5,000 coins. What is that? 5 encumbrance there? 5 bulk? Is that 1 bulk per 1,000 coins or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't see the frickin' head. Alright. Whatever. Well, she's not going to part with any of it. There's no head to get rid of. That's not what's encumbering her. So, she's still encumbered. Is there anyone else that's encumbered? Celine, you weren't encumbered? Are you good?
good.
Alright, everybody else is good?
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. So Celine will be slowing the group down as you make your way from the mud pits. Dizzy, I need you to make a D20 flat check. This will be public. Alright. Make a D12. Dizzy. Alright. Thank you. Alright, you begin making your way back down where you were. Heading back down towards the building structure down here. I guess that's where you can kind of hold up if you want. It's up to you. Let me grab your tokens. Get to about here. Rue, watching the rear. You hear those footsteps again. They're not coming from the path that the Caligni were. They're actually coming from where the dragon was. And you hear not one, not two, but about 4 feet, and they go through the mud, and they're coming directly at you. So I need to know what everybody's doing at this stage, what your response is.
Rue will draw his scimitar, and now we have company.
How about you, Eric?
Yeah, Eric will draw his falcata and kind of raise his shield.
So you're whipping about. All right. How about you, Celine?
Celine's falling behind Eric and backing up a little bit.
Aura already has her weapon drawn, and she whips about as well, so you're all facing the rear. Now, this is what you see. It's coming from here. Can you see up in that direction? Show me how far you could see. Click on it.
I can see the lizard.
Alright, that's what I wanted you to see. Okay, running towards you is this beastie. Okay. Can't necessarily recognize it. Take recall knowledge checks to do that. But we're going to roll initiative because it's charging towards you. Let's put everybody in. The initiative. Oops. There you go. Everybody gets a +1 on their initiative. You're using perception. If you forget to add it, tell me and I'll add it if it matters. +1. Because Rue was scouting to the rear. Okay. Rue, go ahead and make your roll.
I rolled it already. With a +1, I'm at a 37. I forgot that.
Did you roll somewhere? I don't see it.
Yeah.
See, Rue got a 36 with a natural 20. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. There's a die in the encounter tracker that you click on. I don't know if you clicked there, but I'll take your roll. All right. Let me give you a 37. I have to do it manually because for some reason. Didn't roll for you. Alright, so you got the best initiative. Let's begin the encounter. All right, Rue, you're up. As you see barreling towards you through the mud, moving quite rapidly, you hear the suction of its feet as it pulls from the mud, racing towards you. You get to react with your reflexes first. What do you do?
Rue, for his first action, will move 25 feet up. And then for the...
1 second. Eric, you have the same initiative. If you want to go before him, that's up to you. You both have to agree on that.
Yeah, but he rolled a nat 20, so he can go first.
Makes sense. Continue.
Okay. So Rue will take his first move, the first action to move forward, and then he'll do a sudden charge close on the lizard. Smack it with his scimitar.
Now, in the mud, it's going to be difficult going, so you're going to be moving 10 feet per square. So let me measure this for you. Right here to here is 15 feet, no problem. Now from here on out, it's going to be 40 feet. 50, 60, 70, 80. Well, you'd never make it going diagonal. What's your movement rate per stride?
25.
I'm going to put you there. You're not going to make it with all three.
In case, he'll just, instead of the charge, he'll just move all three actions and close on it.
That's it, as far as you get. The mud is slowing you down. Big time. You happy with that?
That'll work.
Okay. Eric, you're up next. Just to clarify, movement inside the mud is difficult. So every square is an extra 5 feet, so it's 10 feet per square.
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of move over,
Should have climbed the walls. Get away from that mud. You could have bounced from rock to rock, too. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Wow.
And as soon as he gets to the mud pit, he's actually going to call out to Rue, wait, let it come to us. And he's going to raise his shield. Kind of hold right there at the riverbank.
Okay, raise your shield. Macro, next up is going to be Celine. Come on, Diz. When in doubt, shield.
She's gonna cast Forbidden Ward on Eric.
Okay, he's 60 feet away.
On Eric?
No, it's Rue. I'm sorry. He's only 20 feet away.
And then for
20
her
feet.
last action, she's casting Shield on herself.
All right. Put that spell in the chat there if you haven't already. We're going to go to Aura. Aura. Come on, Rachel, you're next. Rachel's chomping at the bit to get into the action. Wait a minute, where's our movement? Our movement is at 25. Okay. She immediately runs up towards Rue's direction. Let's see, right there's going to be 15, 20. No, that would be 20, 35, 30. Okay, that's one action. She's going to spend a second action. She gets up on this mound. It took up all her move. And then she's going to spend... I can't get on the damn thing. Damn it. She's on the mound. She is going to attempt an acrobatics check to try and leap all the way over to that other rock. So it's 5, 10, 15-foot leap. Oof. She's got a nice run and start, though. She moved at least 15 feet there. Or 10, 12 feet, whatever it is. So let's make an acrobatics check. Acrobatics. She's expert at it. No problem. She makes it to the other side of the rock here. And she's going to try it again. She's going to try a much easier one, though. She's going to try and... No, she's going to try it again. She wants to get right here behind the cat. So she's going to spend her last action with another acrobatics check. She leaps off the rock into the air. So it's going to be a little harder. Ooh, perfecto. She lands. 3-point landing, baby. So she's right behind you, Rue. You feel her hand on your shoulders. You begin to rush by. Next, we're going to go to the lizard. The dumb riding lizard. Let's see what it's got here. It immediately pauses in its tracks right where it is. Rue, you're the first victim. It's going to reach out towards you with its tail. Whoosh, as it whips around. This tail comes flying at you. What's your armor class? Got a 22. I don't think that's going to hit.
No.
Whips back around with a claw. Easily defected. Alright, it's going to try and claw again for its third action. Doo-doo-doo. These are all on you, Rue. Okay, so you easily dodge out of the way, no problem whatsoever. I'm going to go to round 2. Rue, you're up. How do you reply? You're only going to move two squares.
Yeah, so each square is 10. He'll close the distance on this thing. And then he'll strike at it a couple times with his scimitar.
Go for it.
34.
That's a hit. That is a critical hit.
$20 damage. Second one.
Ooh. Get stuck in the mud. You savaged him with a few slices of your blade. It reels back in pain. Part of the webbing on the back of its head there is cut, serrated, going towards its neck. It's gruesome. Well done. We're gonna go to Eric. He's bracing near his shield.
Yeah, could I spend all 3 actions to get up there?
What's your movement?
25.
Every square is 10 feet. And if you go diagonal, it's an extra 10 feet. Every second diagonal is an extra 10 feet, I should say. So that 15 feet would be 30. 20 would be 40. You can move 75 max, I guess.
So that would put me there at 75.
Okay. That's all 3 actions. You're rushing forward. Your feet are stuck in the mud at times, but you're sloshing forward, pushing on.
Man, and he'll call out to Rue. Rue, back up. Let it come to us. Or see if you can cut one of those wings off its head.
Celine, you're up. Probably left in the dark back there.
She's gonna move 25 feet, I believe is her movement speed.
Moving through the fungus toadstools is another... It's like the mud, so be careful of that. There you go.
And move up another 25, or at least 15 feet. Second action. For her third action, she's going to cast guidance on Rue.
Is he in range? Oh, it's just out. You know what? You had extra movement left. Move yourself up. Not in the mud, but just, yeah, right there is perfect. So there's 30. Then you can just reach him. Okay, Rue, you get the spell effect guidance and guidance immunity. Okay, drag those to your token. Celine's done. Aura. Aura. Chaka chaka cha. She's got that chakram. She's gonna whip that out. Holding on to the... Oh, she's got a shield. Alright, she's gonna swap weapons for an action. Pull out her returning chakram. She's gonna whip it towards this creature. Be careful! It has range on us! 36. That's going to be a critical hit as the chakram returns after penetrating the creature's flesh. She's going to get critical damage here. 44. Oof, and it was a brutal cut. It cut near the arteries in its neck, and it's bleeding out profusely. It actually did take bleed damage, didn't it? Persistent bleed. Ouch. So yeah, this thing took massive damage from that. And she's going to try it again. That was so good. She lets out a scream in her elven tongue. Oh, that one not so good. That's a miss. She's going to attempt another acrobatics check. This doesn't count as an attack. It's an acrobatics check. She's going to try and land on that rock next to Rue. It's a good one. She didn't have a running startup, so she's not going to be successful at this. So she lands just short, splat, right into the mud. She don't fall prone, however, so she's right behind you, Rue. And we're going to go to the dumb riding lizard. Okay. It kind of teeters and tries to pull itself away from you, Rue. And as it does so, you do have an attack of opportunity if you want to take it. I think. You have attack of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
He'll
go for
take
it.
He'll take it with his he'll try and trip it up.
You can't make a... This is strictly with your weapon attacks.
Right. Tripping him with my weapon.
That's a trip attack. I don't think you can use that as an attack of opportunity, can you, Kyle?
It doesn't say. It says you make a melee strike.
Yeah. That's not a melee strike, though. It's a trip attack. I mean, yeah, technically, yeah, it would be melee, but I don't know. Do what you want. Roll an athletics or whatever it is to trip them. Sounds like good fun to me. Go for it.
For an athletics check.
Make a note of that, Kyle. We'll look it up. Read it more clear. Yeah, you trip him. He falls backwards onto the ground. He is now prone. Thump. Never had that come up before, but I like your creativity, so.
That's surprising. I don't want you to get away. I'm going to trip you.
And he's prone. So, if... I'll just briefly say this. If you ready in action, let's say Rue readies in action if the creature pulls away. So the trigger is he pulls away. His reaction, and it has to be a single action, which a trip would be. He says it's a trip. He's going to try and trip him. In this case, you can use your reaction, your readied action, it's considered a reaction, to do exactly what you just did. So this is feasible. This is something you can actually do. But the reactive strike ability, it's a class feature and a feat for some people. I think it's specifically an attack with a melee weapon or an open hand. I don't think it's technically going to be any attack thing like a trip or a shove or a grapple. Although it might be. I don't know. So we need to look at the wording on that in the remaster, Kyle. So make a note of that. It's interesting. Because it's doable. It's just the question is, can they do it as a reactive strike? Does reactive strike allow this type of attack?
I would assume so, because all reactive strikers fighters get it intrinsically. All it says is you make a melee strike. Well, trip could be part of a melee strike.
So a strike is a very specific action, however. So if you look up the action strike, what does that say? Because a trip is not a strike. Anyway, we're going to move on while he references that. I could be wrong. And we're going to go to round 3. Rue, you've got the upper hand on this creature. As it bleeds out.
Rue is going to continue his assault as he strikes at it with his scimitar.
Yeah. He'll probably finish it off. Oh no. 25. Let me see if you got him. You did. It's a normal hit. That is just enough to finish it off. Describe how you slay this lizard. Splat.
As the creature tries to retreat from them, he reaches out with his kukri and hooks its leg, causing it to tumble and fall forward. Using his cat-like reflexes, he lunges forward with his scimitar, dropping it down already and nearly
Ted, you're fading in and out.
Is that better?
So far.
Okay. Well, hopefully it'll hold.
Everybody gets a hero point for that combat. It was easy, but it was so well done. I'll give everybody a hero point. And if you get an extra one, like I think you might, Kyle, you can give that to anybody else if you're maxed at 3 already.
Yeah, give it to Aura.
Okay. Yeah. Aura would have 1. Aura. Thank you.
Indeed, happy to help. Well, now that that part's over, we should withdraw to this drow enclave, gather supplies that we need.
It came from the direction of the Dragon's Lair. Perhaps we should check to make sure there's nothing else that's taking up residence that can come at us from behind.
Aura speaks up. I disagree. I think we should head back as soon as possible to the shelter, recover from this and make plans for our next move. We don't want to get bogged down again in this mud any more than we need.
The mud is another foe to fight. Let's go back to the drow enclave, spend some of that coin we got.
Alright, so if you're all in agreement, you're partially in the mud. We'll take a little time out. Aura, who's weighed down by all this coin. You patiently wait alongside the mud for her, maybe helping her out. And you make your way back to this abandoned building. Yada da 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 da. They are. Mark off some more time for that mess. It took another half an hour, maybe a little longer to do that battle and make your way back to this chamber. You see a fire. It's died down now, but there is some fungus that it looks like the Caligni have been cooking and eating left behind. That's about it. Kyle, did the previous companions sleep here?
Yeah, they did. Sheppy, Norian, Cypher, and Caitlin did, yeah.
Okay. The store's open. Okay, so you're back to the safety of this room. What do you do? Let me get her out of there.
It would seem we now have a base where we can at least rest safely, now that these Caligni are not in the way. It's well fortified. We have plenty of room for storage. I say we'd take full advantage of it. That's what Eric was saying.
Celine's going to be wandering off to check the other rooms.
Rue will go with her to make sure nothing jumps out and gets their healer.
You see Aura, she starts to unload her backpack. I don't know where she's keeping her coins. She don't have any separate sacks, so I'm assuming those are in the backpack as well. Maybe some in her pockets. But she starts to gather it all up and consolidate it in one of the backpacks. And as she does that, she looks down at the head of the dragon, and she grabs hold of it, kicks open the door, and she lobs it outside. Better there than in here. The thing is beginning to stink. Slams the door and goes back to her backpack. I assume you've never been here before, Eric.
I have not. I've been in the castle many years.
Well, then I would advise you to have a close scout around. Those two fools have left without us already. Wonder what lies beyond that door over there. And she reaches down towards her scimitar as she looks towards the door to the northeast.
Let's go quietly and quickly, and if things come out, we jump back. Understand?
All right. Give me a second here. I want to create a chest and put some stuff in it while you move up to the door.
Actually, beforehand, he'll go down and notify Rue and Celine. We're going to go scout to the other area, see if you can make what use and find what materials you can here. So Laura and I are going to scout to the other area.
Rue will simply nod and continue to keep an eye out.
Before Eric moves away, Celine's gonna glance at the door at the other end. I'm looking at the map and there's something literally like liquid moving around. Is that supposed to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a perception check?
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Aura has dumped a bunch of coins into an old sack. Well, no, there's a chest here. An old chest that's partially broken. There's no lock on it, but she's poured it into there, so there's a bunch of coins, include quite a few gold. Over 1,000 gold inside this chest. So that chest there, that's got a lot of money in it. So keep an eye of that. She's no longer encumbered. And Kyle, you're moving up towards that door to check it out. Aura's following behind you, I guess.
Yeah, once I notified them what was going on.
Of course. Where were you seeing this glow? Ping
It's
it.
not a glow. It's like right here at this door that Celine's looking directly at. There's like a liquid on the map.
Yes. You see it underneath the door. This strange moving glow swirling about from underneath the door.
Celine's gonna immediately give a cry and move back instantly to Rue.
Rue sees it. He's been kind of watching it to see what it does.
At the cry, Eric will come in and join him. Seems to be the problem.
As you investigate further, Celine, feel free to make a blind perception check at the door. As you listen, feel, touch what you described to me of what that looks like and what you're doing. And you'll get a blind perception roll.
When Celine sees it, after she gives the cry, she's already on alert. She's already got her glaive at the ready, but she's pulled back towards Rue, just trying to see what this is, but at the same time she gave the alert cry to hopefully Eric and Orida and see if they might come to the same room as they're in.
Now, Rue, as you first step into this room, you see in this chamber a stack of dusty urns heaped against the east wall of this relatively small room. You do notice also these urns. Wait a minute, I'm reading the wrong room. The room is filthy. It smells of staleness. Rags and tattered rugs blanket litter the floor. You see shattered and broken urns. Okay. Alright. So that's what's in this room. Among what's showing on the map. Now, you were at the door. You did a little listen. You... You don't hear anything, but looking closely under the door, you can see that it's like something is moving in there with some type of strange glow to it's very eerie. Very creepy and eerie. And cold. Is there anything else you were doing?
After she is able to at least get that much information, like I said, she would have backed up behind Rue with a finger pointing at the door, and she goes, "There's something back there. That's not right."
Rue would test the door to see if it was locked. If not, he'd open it.
You begin to pull on the latch. It's not locked. There's suddenly, you see appearing out of nowhere. Ooh! And it immediately acknowledges you and turns towards you, Rue. We're going to go into initiative. And I guess I could read this a second time. A stack of dusty urns is heaped against the east wall of this small room. Each is covered with jagged runes. Runes. And in front of those are these two creatures. It looks like they were moving about, back and forth, and you just interrupted their pacing. So everybody's going into initiative. You can use perception. You get a +1 on this. Rue, you were watching the rear, but I'm going to let you have this because even though it's the front, I'm going to give it to you anyway. So everyone gets a +1.
I'll have to add mine then.
Not a problem, if it matters. Let's see. Rue, did you add yours?
No, I did.
Let me roll for Aura. Celine, I guess I didn't put you in the thing. Where are you? I'll roll for you.
I rolled and I got a 24 originally.
It's okay. Celine got a 24. I'll change yours. Alright, so it'll be a 28 for Rue, be a 28 for Eric. So it's not going to matter. 25. Well, it would matter here. Aura's going to have the same initiative as you, Celine. And the creatures. Wow. Kyle, did I add yours? Did I give you a +1? Yeah, I did. Alright.
Should have been 28.
Jesus Christ. $28. So you're not the same as Rue. Okay, it does matter. So you'll be up first to react. Eric. Everybody else, you're good? Alright, let's begin this.
Yeah, kind of seeing the figures move. Eric will kind of rush down there. Rush into the doorway. Kind of sliding around the roof. Yeah. And then he'll raise his tower shield up. And then He'll kind of think in his mind, see if he can recall anything about ghosts, specters, anything from his time in Last Wall, having dealt with undead and such. Kind of thinking if like, has he seen any particular ghosts or anything like that? So I'd like to use recall knowledge from these creatures, and I do have undead lore. If that's applicable.
Occultism or religion, or if you have an applicable lore.
I do have undead lore.
Alright, go ahead and roll that. Occultism or religion, your choice.
On the way.
You've heard of these creatures. There's no mistake. They're known as Bright Walkers. In the realms of Lastwall, you've seen them in the battles against the undead. Indeed, these are vicious characters, powerful. They have a tendency to be immune to the obvious, such as paralysis and poison and similar. They have no weaknesses, and they're very resistant to all damage types that you can imagine, except what comes to your mind. Ghost touch, force, or vitality. It's not resistant to those damage types. Of course, you'd have to let people know. If you have any more actions left, you can continue describing that to your friends.
Don't have any more actions, but kind of for a free action, he'll kind of yell out, "We got a real fight on our hands."
Okay, and then we're going to go to the creature. This one is first. So this one back here, with its hands raised, he pulls them back towards his shoulders, and his eyes look intent and squint towards you, Eric. And he thrusts his hands forward, and a dark energy explodes from his palms. No. Make this blind.
Class 30.
Strikes, it hits. It's gonna be normal damage. You're gonna feel some burn here. You're gonna take 18 points of fire damage as this blue glowing aura is just full of heat. Okay. And explodes in a bright light as it hits you. And it's going to do it again. I probably shouldn't have done that. 25. Miss.
Miss.
Okay, with its final action. No, it's going to go... It moves itself here. If you want to make a reactive strike, you can do so.
I will.
And then Rue, you're going to be next after this reactive strike. Nice. Critical hit.
That's critical hit.
Roll your damage.
Going to be 53 points of slashing damage, and it is off guard until the start of my next turn.
Okay, hold on. Force, go touch. Return. Is that a magical weapon? Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you did a total of 53. Okay. And let's see. Is precision damage? No. I don't think so. D12. Okay. And off guard. All right. We'll apply. We'll put that on him. He's off guard until the beginning of your next turn. Okay. Remember that for me. And then it finishes its move directly in front of you as you cut through this mist-like creature. It is incorporeal. So your blade just literally cuts right through it, but you see the wisps carry on with your blade, almost like a trail. All right, we're going to go to Rue.
Rue is going to step into. I guess I got to move through. Here.
Okay. As soon as you enter the room, you see not one but two of these creatures, and you're face to face with both of them.
He is going to attempt to slash at the same one Eric did to see if he can do anything against it with his magical scimitar.
Which one?
Both his weapons are magical, but it's the scimitar.
Which one are you attacking?
The same one that Eric did, one in front of him.
Okay. Gotcha. Critical hit! Alright. Let me check your traits on your weapon here.
It also gains clumsy and enfeebled.
There you go.
Ba, 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 ba. Okay, it's magical. So, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, alright, so the damage wasn't as effective, but yeah, you cut through it. And when you critically hit a target with this weapon, your target becomes clumsy 1 or enfeebled 1 until the end of your next turn. Oh, both. Effect crushing. So it's clumsy 1. It's enfeebled 1. Very good.
And for his last action, he's going to try to do it again.
Meow. Let out a roar, Ted. Let out a roar. Yeah. 32. That's going to be a... No, it's just a normal. You're 1 under. 1 under a crit. Need a 33.
It's forceful, so it's a little extra to it.
18.
Potential 18.
Minus 10. It's 8. Alright. There you go. Alright, so the cat leaps into the room. Right behind your back there, Eric. You could barely feel him slip through, cat-like as he is. And he rises up with a scimitar in his hand, slashing at this creature you're attacking. Aura's up next. Aura, where is she, bud? She's still in my back room. Alright, she's gonna hustle up here. Not sure what's happening. She spends an action just trying to gather what's happening here. And she rushes down to the door and presses her back against the door. Not the door, against the wall next to the door, with her scimitar out and shield in hand. Be cautious, Celine. I will protect you. And she has one action left. She can't do anything with that, so we're going to let that go. And we're going to go to Celine.
Can Celine see past Eric into the room?
No, he's in the room out of sight. There's a wall there.
But can she see past him to see if maybe she can catch a glimpse
Did
of
you
the
say?
creature?
Did you say Rue?
Eric.
Eric, you can see. I for some reason, I'm getting them confused all the time. Eric, you
Okay,
can
so
see.
since she can see Eric, can she see the creature past him?
Yeah.
Alright, she's gonna cast Vitality Lash on the creature.
Put it in the chat.
DC is 27, Fortitude save.
Oh. You demolish the target's corrupted essence with energy from the creation's forge. You deal 2d6 vitality damage. Go ahead and roll that. With the basic fortitude save. I made the save. Go ahead and roll it. Okay, hold on. I gotta read this. If the creature critically fails the save, it is also enfeebled. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see, what did it get? Okay, so it failed. And your damage is 17, so it's going to take all that. And it is vitality. Okay. It seems particularly harmed by the vitality energy of your spell, cleric. It reels back in pain. At least it shows it on its face in the imagery. It pulls its arms towards its chest like it's in some great agony.
With her last action, she's gonna yell at Eric and Rue to get out of the room and draw the creatures out to her.
Okay, I'll let you have another action.
Casting shield on herself.
Okay, put that on your token. Very good. It's time for the other Bright Walker. It smiles at you, cat. For a moment, you're not looking at it, focusing your attention on the other one in front of Eric. But this one sees an opportunity to strike at you. With a nasty claw, it reaches towards you. Nasty, long nails. Translucent, but they reach to you as if to cut deep into your soul. You're not off guard. It's going to be a normal hit. You feel them rake across your flesh. 24 points of burning fire damage. What is this enfeebled thing? Hold on. Why does it say enfeebled?
The one in front of Eric, because that came from the crushing ability of my weapon.
Yeah, the crushing took that.
Well, the creature here on the other side, he's the one taking action. But, let me see. Okay, here's his attack. Called Radiant Touch. Huh. Not sure what that means. Alright, 24 points of damage, fire damage. We'll leave it at that.
That will cause Rue will let out a roar of pain and heal of rage. Using wounded rage.
Are you raging? There you are. Nice. Okay, if you off guard, clumsy, enfeebled. Off guard, clumsy, enfeebled. Wait a minute. Why is it making this one off guard, clumsy, and enfeebled? I clicked on the right one. I think that's what it is. I clicked on the wrong creature. Take one more point of fire damage. Because it's not actually enfeebled. Alright, for its second trick. Blah, 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 blah. It's going to spend its last action to suppress the light that's emanating from it. And he's now still glowing, but he's very dim. You could barely see the outline of the creature. Alright? So, that happened. I'll give him some kind of weird condition to remind me so I don't forget. And then Eric, you're up next.
Yeah, question. Since my shield is lit, would that still make the other target visible to us?
They're glowing. You can see them. They're both glowing.
What I needed to know.
Yes, this one here that just kind of dimmed. He's glowing. Like I described. He's barely you can see him, but he is definitely glowing. He's not like hidden or invisible. You just move up and attack him.
I'm gonna go to work on this guy down here. Yeah, seeing kind of Root take a pretty nasty shot. He's going to kind of pivot around and swing that Falcata at the one that he wounded, hoping that he can somehow leverage this exchange, trying to cut through the creature.
39 is critical hit.
Oh, that's a critical hit. Abysmal damage, but it's going to be off guard still until the start of my next turn and take 27 points of slashing damage.
Alright, 27 minus 10, 17. And off guard. That'll stay in place. Okay.
And he's actually going to do something kind of unlike him. He's actually going to go for a second strike.
Okay.
Saying that strike wound the creature. He's kind of trying to leverage as much weight as he can as he slings the sword forward again.
Ooh, you will die.
I will hero point that.
You better. Oh, nice. Critical
That's
hit.
a critical hit.
Damage. 48.
48.
Alright, before you describe the demise of this creature. Alright, as you put in a final series of blows on this creature, cutting and piercing with your sword, and its light begins to fade, and it breaks apart. Its structure, what looked like its outline, begins to break apart. Suddenly, from within the middle of it, this bright light begins to grow until it gets brighter and brighter and larger, and it just fills the room with almost like a soundless explosion. Light just fills the room. Everybody in here, Dizzy and Aura included, everybody, this light is so bright, I need you to make a basic reflex save. This light is full of heat and fire. Basic reflex.
35.
You'll take no damage, Eric. You'll take half damage, Rue. Dizzy. You'll take full damage. We roll for Aura. Oh. 50-50 chance she's gonna spend her hero point on that. 1 to 3 it's spending. 4 she doesn't spend it, she'll take it. So she took a failure. She's gonna take full damage along with Dizzy. So the damage, $31 points of fire damage, Dizzy and Aura. Rue, you take half. Eric, you take none. So 16 points for Rue. 31 for Dizzy and Aura. Aura feels the pain. Okay, is everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the light begins to fade, disappear. So I guess I did your finishing blow for you, Kyle. Sorry.
Close enough. And then my last action, I'm going to move over, get beside Rue, kind of completely block it off, and that'll be good enough.
Okay. Okay, Rue, you're up.
Rue, as he's standing there raging because of the claw strike against him, his body kind of surrounded by almost a maelstrom of fire in itself. So the explosion didn't hurt him quite as bad as it would have. This still angers him, and he decided to take it out on the remaining specter. So he's going to unload on this thing with scimitar, seeing how well it affected the other one.
It's a hit. Okay, not as effective as you would hope.
No, we're going to try again.
Only 7 damage.
We're going to hero point that one.
Oh, nope.
We'll hero point that one.
Nope. You go through hero points like water. Gone. There's nothing left. Alright, that's it for you, I think.
That's it.
Alright, your blade is clanking off the walls, cutting into some of those clay jars behind you. Look out! You almost hit me, cries Eric. Aura's up. She's not sure what to think. She takes a cautious peek inside the room. Takes one look and leans back around. She's got 2 actions. Be careful, Celine. And she's going to ready an action. Celine, you're up.
Celine is moving up to the door so she can see inside.
Okay, I'll bring you in so you can peek around. Get a full look at what's in there. Okay?
And last 2 actions, I believe, is going to cause her to do a Vitality Lash.
Okay. 30 feet. Oh! Oh, no. Creatures forward, you do two, roll your damage. This is a basic save, so you gotta roll your damage first. 19. It's vitality. Alright, this creature wails in pain and reels back into the jars. It's still where it is. It's not off guard or anything. But yeah, it really reacted to that. It took way more damage than you anticipated.
And that'll be end of turn.
Okay, are you happy where you are? Do you want to stay there, or do you want me to take you back out of the room?
If she could get the chance, once she casts that spell, she would immediately try and back out.
Alright, I will put you here because technically that's where you were, and you were peeking around the corner using it for cover to see this creature and launch your spell. So technically, this is where you are. I just want to know if you wanted me to leave you in the room. I would have done that too. Okay? Alright, very good. Going to the Final bright walker. Who's a little dim. He's not bright like the others. Let's see what options that gives me. Alright, all of a sudden, much like the other one when it was felled and exploded in this light, burning light, all of a sudden you see the light in the center of its body begin to glow once again, getting brighter and brighter until it suddenly explodes out, filling the room, and also going out into the room beyond where Celine is standing. You're all going to have to make a basic reflex save as this energy just explodes with brightness and heat. Okay, let me see here. Celine, you're successful. You'll take half damage. Rue, you're successful. You'll take half damage. Eric, you are not going to take any damage at all.
Well, I made him this way.
Yeah, he's got the save there. That's a reflex. Let me make one for Aura. Dun, 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 dun. And she gets 31. She's going to take half damage as well. So everybody's going to take half damage of what I roll, which is going to be fire damage, and it's going to be 12. You're all going to take 12. I already halved it for you. All right, so everybody take 12 fire damage. Oh, my eyes. Okay. All right, before we go to the next round, we're going to take a break. All right, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to go to intermission, take a small 5 to 10 minute break. We'll see where we're at. And then we'll bring up the conclusion to tonight's episode and see what the companions do next. Be right back, folks.
Good.
Okay, and we're back for part 2. Conclusion to tonight's episode. See what's going on. Good combat. Eric trying to fit into his strategy here. He's got options, which he likes. He's approaching this encounter a little differently than the last one. Quite effectively. And once again, Rue going into this maddening rage, which he didn't do before against that big old lizard. I don't think he raged there, did you? I don't think so.
No, he's actually fighting smarter. He actually didn't have raised his head on the head.
But this time, the rage is on as they fight against these pair, or was a pair, of undead minions. Right up Dizzy's alley. Well done, Dizzy. You're doing good in this one. Vitality. Take that, you cursed ghost. Very good. All right, we're on top of round 3. Eric is up. Let's see what he does.
Yes, sir. You would all see Eric kind of raise his shield, kind of lower it down to where the bottom lip tucks onto the ground, and he's going to swing out his Valcata once again at the creature. That's a hit. Normal. It's going to be 16 points of slashing damage.
Okay, you only did 6.
And then you would see him kind of tuck back behind the shield. Kind of now that there's only one creature, he's slowing himself down. You would all notice that he's moving more methodically.
Taking cover.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And that's it for me.
Well done. Rue, you're up.
Actually, it's the last attack on it, trying to singe his fur some more. Rue's not too happy with this thing at all. He continues to rage on it, hammering away at it with his scimitar.
$29 is a hit. 3. 16, so that's going to be 6 points of damage. $33. Get that forceful and sweep as well, don't forget. 20. Knock down to 10. Very resistant to your magical weapon, it seems. Ooh. Critical hit. Rah!
And as he's hammering away, he's just roaring out obscenities, his native language, calling it everything but something good. So there's Clumsy 1, Enfeebled 1, and Off Guard.
Got him near death. And yeah, Off Guard, Clumsy, and Enfeebled 1. So it's not looking good for Mr. Ghosty Woasty. Alright, well done, Rue. We're going to go to Aura. She grabs at you, Celine. What are you doing? Be careful. Don't go in there. There's undead in there. She readies her action. We're gonna go to Celine.
Celine's gonna poke her head back in, and she's gonna do another vitality lash.
Okay. I might as well have you just describe it. Alright, let me try and make this save. Go ahead and make your damage roll. Ooh. Here's what he got. So 13 doubled to 26.
Yep.
Yes, no reduction for this. It takes full damage, so 26. So, as it howls in pain from this vital energy that you engulf it in, it begins to fall apart once again and fade, but then all of a sudden it explodes in this glorious, bright explosion of light and heat. So everybody, including Aura and Dizzy, make a basic reflex save right off the bat. You need a 25.
36.
So you're immune.
34.
You are successful. Celine, do you want to re-roll that? That's a failure.
No, I'm saving the hero points.
All right, you'll take full damage. Rue will take half. Let me roll for Aura. Ooh. Let me see. No, I used that hero point. She has no choice. She's got to take it. She's going to take double damage. Alright, let's see what we get. Alright, so... Alright, so if you took normal damage, it's 20 points. Half damage, it's 10. And Eric, you don't take any. Alright, and that's fire damage, by the way, Rue.
My resistance will absorb some of that, so I take 4, which will still activate my armor. Reaction. Heal by 8.
Alright. Breathing heavy from this fight, wiping the sweat from your face. Rue's rage is still going, I imagine. Flames coming up off his body. I don't know what that looks like, but yeah. I'm going to end the encounter. And once again, as these ghostly images disappear and fade away, their glow no longer present in the room, you see a stack of dusty urns, some of which have been smashed during the combat, heaped against the east wall. Each of these urns is covered with jagged runes.
Seeing as there's no more enemies, they'll drop out of range.
Come on, guys, what are you doing?
Celine's gonna be doing his reaction heal.
Eric will be investigating the runes. Well, the urns, I should say.
Okay. How about you, Rue?
He'll drop out of rage. He looks at the ruins, doesn't understand the squiggly lines he sees, and will simply make his way back just outside the door to keep guard.
All right, 44 points of healing there from Celine. Now, the urns are about 3 foot tall. And as you peer inside them and look at the ones that are broken and on the ground, they're full of what looks like dust. But you see like there's things inside of them as well. I'm not sure what they are. The runes themselves, you can't make out. Some ancient or magical tongue, perhaps, but you don't know what they say. If you'd like to make a recall knowledge in Arcana or Occult,
I'll try.
any of the 4 traditions, actually.
Okay.
You could do that too, Celine, if you want. As you cast your vitality healing.
Yeah, Fritz Aura should take that healing as well.
How much was it? 44?
44, yep.
Yeah, she needs it. She was heightened the whole time. She still took a beating. Alright, the runes, Celine, you get the gist that they were some kind of preservative. This powder in here, it was some magical infusion that preserved what looks like, judging from the broken urns on the ground, there's bones inside of it. Looks like body parts. There's a claw. And there was magic infusing this. The runes are describing to you preservation type magic. And see, in the body parts, that's what was being preserved.
She'll pass that information along, and then she'll look to 3 of them basically she'll say, I'm gonna head back to the main room. I will leave you 3 to explore the other rooms, as I feel I might not be needed to do that. And then she's just gonna head back to the main room.
Okay, go ahead and
Well,
move
you
yourself.
mean not needed. You are needed for this.
Yes, I'm not a master in the arcane.
Aura steps forward, looking at it, grimacing as she looks at the body parts and pushes one of the claws around with the tip of her sword. This is horrible. It's an abomination. These undead. We shouldn't be here in this chamber. It disgusts me. And she follows the cleric. We should go.
We should seal it off. And Eric will kind of step out of the room as well. And he'll actually take steps. If he can find any pieces of chain or rope, he'll actually chain or rope the door shut. That way nobody else can go in there.
Okay, you could do that. Make a note somewhere on your rope or something that it's like 10 foot smaller or something to signify that you blocked it, and I'll write it down on the map. La, ba, 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 ba. Sealed with rope. Make it so everybody could see it. Alright, then you head back into the other room and back into the main chamber, I guess. With Celine. I'm going to mark off some time. Well done. Everybody gets a hero point for that combat.
Give my hero point to Aura.
Only if you're maxed at 3. I don't allow them to be swapped around.
I'm maxed.
Are you really? Hot damn. Okay. Alright. Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead, Kyle.
Eric was just going to kind of step into the room here, kind of look around to the other companions. Seems we now have a fortress of our own.
Considering how beat up they were when we found them, I'm not sure how secure it really is.
Fair point. But regardless, we should go back to the Drow Enclave, get supplies and provisions. We're gonna need more material for the journey ahead.
And are we ready to go?
Eric will look to everybody.
Horrible. Interject. Why must we waste time? We need to push on. Why do you want to go back to the Drow and spend more time sleeping when we need to push on? There's another
need to go
lens we
back.
must get.
And we need to get back and go and get supplies, or I understand where you're coming from, but I'm putting my foot down on this. We are going back. Either I go by myself or everybody goes with me. Up to you.
I'll go with you. We need supplies, healing potions. We're good on rest.
How can you be sure you'll get such things there? She's very reluctant to go back to that when you mentioned Drow. She seems to be a little bit negative towards Drow. For some reason, I wonder why. She's not too keen on the idea.
I'll be right beside you the whole time.
We have fire, we can cook food here, we have a place to stay and rest here, we can get our spells back. I don't understand why we need to go visit these Drow.
But without potions and provisions, doesn't matter if we have a battle fortress or a simple hole in the wall. And what happens when our cleric runs out of spells and we have no healing potion?
I have healing potion, I have anti-venom. Venom? She just goes on about having this stuff as well. You look at her bag of holding here, she's got a lot of tricks in there.
But regardless, we need to go back to the Drow Enclave. We need to get supplies, provisions. I need more rope, more equipment. Don't be afraid of the Drow.
And besides, you know, when Celine has her mindset, there's no change. Might as well just go.
Alright, so you guys could saddle up. It's going to be slow going, because you got to carry that treasure again. I left it in the room, but she's got it again, so you're going to be moving really slow.
And would it make a difference if it was spread out amongst the four of us?
Sure would. Or you could just hide the treasure somewhere.
We're about to go shopping, so I said, why not split it up? Maybe.
You know what? You know what? She refuses to go. She's not going. She's not going. She's going to stay here with the treasure and lock herself in. She's not going to set foot in any Drow enclave. So she just refuses to go. So you guys can go without her, and she will be just fine. As she slams the door. Choice is yours. But if
Celine's not having it.
Let me see, I can't do this that way. Alright. So you guys head without her? You'll make faster time without her. Alright, so you head south. So, no worries. You can go through familiar terrain here quite rapidly. You're not slowed down at all. You could make it back to the Enclave. You get there through the secret door. Takes a while before they open the damn thing for you, but there's a guard out there to greet you, and immediately you're greeted with a crossbow bolt to the head. Who are you? Are you from the Darklands, perhaps visiting? Says this guard.
No, we're part of a group of companions sent to stop Belcora.
What is your business here?
Seeking trade, supplies, and provisions.
So you're travelers, and you speak of this Belcora. Interesting. You should speak with our leader. And suddenly there's 3 more of these drow guards that show up, and they all have their weapons leveled on you. You will have to be disarmed. And they begin to reach towards your weapons.
Celine instantly draws her glaive back against her body protectively.
It doesn't really... The drow does not release its grasp and begins to pull it from you. Go ahead and make an athletics check. Or have it yanked from your hands. It's yanked from your hands, Celine. You are disarmed of your glaive. What the rest of you do? Seeing that they're taking your weapons. Do you resist?
When they mentioned being to be disarmed, Rue started to go ahead and take his weapons off. Anybody who tried to forcefully take it from him gets their hand smacked and says, "I'm cooperating with you. Don't push me."
Okay, they don't pressure you. How about you, Eric?
Yeah, seeing that they want to disarm us, Eric will comply.
Alright, takes some more time. 6 more drow arrive with scimitars. And they're all surrounding you. And they collect all of your weapons. So you don't need to do this on your character sheet. Unless you want to fight, in which case you're just going to make unarmed attacks. Or you're hiding something, which we'll make stealth rolls for or something if that's the case. And they lead you back to the chamber with your weapons in tow. The weapons are dumped off in that one little room, if you guys remember the room I'm talking about. Nobody recognizes you. And they all speaking in their own tongue. Sakharoth, if you can understand that, they're all kind of like joking about who you might be. Perhaps travelers from the Darklands coming to look for trade or something. But the fact that you mentioned Belcora perks their interest big time. So they're a little bit cautious about letting you roam free in this place. You will all wait here and we will speak with our leader. See if she'll have an audience with you.
Of course.
And with that, he disappears out the door. So you're now surrounded by about 8 of these drow who have their weapons on you. You're disarmed and disarmored at this stage. Well, you can have your armor. No shields, though. And some time is going to go by while you're waiting in this room with these weapons leveled at you. You don't recognize any of these faces. You don't know who they are. None of you have ever been here. You've heard about it. You've passed through here. But that was when friends were with you. Or Arthurian in them. I'm specifically speaking to your character, Kyle.
Gotcha.
Because I think you came down through this way, didn't you? Yeah, you were with Arthurian.
Yep, I was with him all the way through.
Yeah, so you're the only one. Everybody else, these other three, they came from the Darklands. A couple hours go by. If you guys want to do anything, tell me now. Just a couple hours pass.
Eric will just kind of stand there waiting patiently.
Yeah, Rue just kind of leans against the wall, waiting, watching.
All right, let's expedite this. Go ahead and everybody make a diplomacy roll for me. I used that word twice tonight.
Public or blind?
I don't care, public or blind.
Gonna hear him point that.
All right. All right. Selene, I'll give you an opportunity here. I want you to make an argument in front of the leader who's questioning you in this chamber, alone. Your friends are not there. She asks you, what is your business with Belcora? And why do you come here?
Our business that we came to this tower is originally I came across 3 companions, which one now is with me, one is back in another location. We then came across more companions who came down here in search of Belcora to end her reign and restore the natural order so that evil can go back to where it was supposed to be. However, since we have been running into situations where either we have lost our companions to death, or we have been running into areas that we can't obtain because we do not have the necessary equipment to enter them. Right now, we were given an item from the leader of the one Kalikni group that we escorted out to go back to the Shadowlands. I'm asking that we be able to barter for supplies that we need and perhaps a way that we can
All right.
offer
You're
some
just
sort
telling
of-
me facts here. Who has the lens out of the three of you? The amber lens.
I believe all that is with Aura. Right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, Celine, from your own memory, do you know the names of the companions who passed through here? And who would they be? The ones that made a deal with the Drow. Give me a
trying to
name.
remember who it was. I'm trying to remember.
Don't be typing behind the scenes. I want Dizzy to get this.
Honorian.
Kyle, did Honorian... Well, Honorian was part of the group that passed through here, correct?
Yeah, it was Honorian, Cypher, I think Cade one, and I think Agatha, but I know for sure it was Honorian and Cypher,
Excellent. So you know them. You know them, Celine. You had mentioned the names of those individuals. And that convinces her. Because her thing was, who are you to come back here and make claims to be these companions? You could have easily slit their throats to come here. She's curious how you know about this Belcora, because she knows about Belcora. She mentions the amber lens, which I guess you don't know who has it, or maybe you mentioned it's there or not. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. But the fact that you know the names of some of these companions who she herself met gets you a break. So the deal is, the three of you can spend a day here at the most. You're not allowed to have your weapons, and you must totally be disarmed. Armored. No armor. No weapons. And you could be here for a day, until they can verify really who you really are. In other words, one of your friends comes back and mentions who you are, knows they know you. That would require a Thurian. Cadwin, specifically. Cadwin was here. He was here and he's alive. If he showed up and could vouch for you, you're good. But right now, they're really suspicious of you, but they'll let you stay here for a day if you want to trade and do things. Like you say, you're from the Darklands. They get a lot of travelers from the Darklands. That's fine, but mentioning Belcora, that set her off. So knowing this, Celine, you go back to your friends in the room, and the rest is up to you. If you want to spend a day here, you can do that. You can get a full rest. They show you to a private room, but you have no weapons and you can't use any of your armor. They'll remain here in this chamber, under guard. Okay, so figure out what you want to do here in town.
You shouldn't need more than a day to get what you need, should you?
I think a day should be well.
All right, so if you want to spend the evening, you can. There's those little rooms. You could probably go to that map if you want. So if you want to do some shopping, common items only. You want to pick up some potions, you can do that here. Anything questionable, ask me first. If you want to sell stuff, you can do that too.
Selling stuff is at half price, right?
Yep.
Celine would split up her silver and gold between Eric and Rue, and she would have handed the wand off to Eric before telling them she would be at the entrance that they came in.
Oh, I should have centered the screen. My bad. Let me put you on the map. So it's towards the middle of the map. If you want to scroll to the east. There you go, Kyle. I think you're there. There you go.
Yep, got it.
Give you something to look at. I think there's some ambiance for this too. A bunch of talking elves.
Fritz, would a spacious pouch be available?
Spacious pouch. Is it magical?
No, it's spacious pouch type 1 traits. It's basically a bag of holding type 1.
Well, that's magical. Put it in the chat. If it's magical, no. Just common mundane things. This is just an outpost, not a big city or anything. Let me look at it. Extra dimensional. Yeah, it's magical. It's got magical in the trait. So no. They could probably find one for you. It'd take about a week. Merchants come through here.
Don't have that much time.
Wand of Continuation. 4th level spell. What are you doing with that, Celine? Selling it? Depositing
so she
it?
can't... Selling it.
Oh, there's a chest in here. You guys could leave things in here. Ah, you got a bunch of stuff. Anything you want to leave behind? Oh, I don't. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. One thing you can't do is buy weapons, by the way. You can buy armor, but I won't let you buy weapons since you're under watch. They won't let you have any weapons. Unless you want to try and wheel and deal behind the scenes, that could have its own risks, but yeah. But yeah, Dizzy, what were you doing? You were with the wand?
Selling it.
Yeah, you could find a buyer for that. Half price. So give yourself the gold and get rid of the wand. So yeah, common mundane items, food, you can get potions. There's nowhere to keep a stash here. If you want to try and do some like almost black market shopping around and asking around to maybe get a certain type of weapon, or maybe hide something somewhere by searching this place more, that'll require a little more, some die rolls and you describing what you're going to do and where you want to go. If you don't want to do that, it'll save us time. We could just move this forward. But you have no weapons and no armor currently. And when you're done shopping, you could give yourself a full night's rest. And then we'll go from there. Alright?
Good to me.
Aura's got all the gold down there in the chest. Guarding it with her life.
Which is funny because Rachel did want to come back up here.
She did. Well, she missed out. Too bad. Blame the family.
Yeah, after some time, you would see Eric kind of wander back over to Celine and kind of hand the gold coin that she gave him back to her. Kind of nod to her. I believe we're ready to go.
Celine's gonna look at the gold in his hand, look at Eric, shake her head, she goes, "You keep it. I don't need it."
Are you guys done?
Yep. Rue
I
will,
believe so, yep.
We'll finish up until he's ready when everybody else is.
Yep, Eric's done.
Are you spending the night here or no?
Preferably Eric, once everything was done, Eric would want to head back and not leave Aura by herself any longer than she's already been by herself.
Alright, it's taking a few hours.
And he'll actually relay that as soon as everybody gets done. He'll look. We shouldn't wait till the morning. We should go back and return to Aura in case things are not as they seem.
Rue would agree. He doesn't like leaving Aura by herself like this.
And he'll kind of go over to the drow lady that let him stay, and he'll kind of formally bow his head. Thank you for your hospitality, my lady. Hope we meet again.
The leader's not here, but someone of authority you can speak to, and they acknowledge you. You are welcome. Come again.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, if you're all done, let me know.
I'm done.
Dizzy, are you done?
Yep.
Ted?
Yep, Rue's done.
All right. In that case, you make your way back to the room. You claim your weapons. Next time you come here, be sure to bring someone who vouch for you. We don't let just anyone pass through here, not even those from the Darklands. You might not be so welcomed next time.
Good to know.
And they lead you down to the passage where there's a secret lock that unlocked. And it opens up once again, and they all basically say, "Get out of here." And through the portal you go. Once again, you are back into this other level. Let me see if I could bring you there. Schlink. Well, you guys are pretty much intent on getting back to Aura, so I don't think you want to
Nope, straight to
dilly-dally
Aura.
around.
Eric would be making a beeline right back to Aura.
Whee! And you make it back to this one area where there's that mist to the south. You pass through that one chamber that's got the lizards in it. You recognize the lizards here as the lizard you fought. So these are the lizards the drow actually ride. Must have escaped or something. But yeah, you can make your way back up towards Aura. Dizzy, make a flat D20 roll. Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. Let me... You can make quick time through familiar territory and make your way back up to the chamber where Aura is currently hiding out. It's going to take a couple more hours. 1 hour to get through here, another hour to get back. I didn't count the time to travel, so it's going to be 2 hours total. Tonk, tonk. And this time let me center the map. Okay, I'll bring you guys to the map. See Ted. Did you make it, Kyle? Dizzy on the map?
Yep, right here.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, now during that time, you roll dice here. This is going to be a d6 roll. Let me do this privately. You make your way swiftly, cutting through all this, the forests of this mushrooms and fungus that grows in this area. Not much to report. You hear a few echoes in the distance here, footfalls in the distance there, the dripping of the water close by, but you make your way back to the double doors that lie in front of you right now. What do you do?
Yeah, Eric will kind of walk up to the double doors and just open them. He's not expecting anything bad since since Aura's inside. So yeah, he'll open the door and head in if he can.
All right. No secret knocks, no codes, nothing. You just barge through the door, boom, and there, and all of a sudden, you see what looks like a very familiar weapon wielded by the elf. What's your armor class?
With reactive shield, AC 30.
Reactive shield is good. Let's use it. You see a kukra, chakram actually, flying at you. Ooh, she rolled a 40, Kyle. Intruders!
Yeah, that's critical.
Did she crit ya? No way.
Oh, yeah, that's critical.
Oh, she just critted you.
AC 30.
Alright, it's going to be critical damage. You're going to take a nice 24 points of damage. You were totally not expecting this, but evidently the elf was, and she was ready for it. And there she pops her head above the fireplace as she reaches up to grab her returning chakram from the air. "I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you. I heard footsteps coming to the door. I didn't expect you so soon."
All is well. We hurried back as quick as we could. We didn't want to leave you here alone.
You did. I guess
Are you all right? If not, you don't need to act so rashly.
And he'll kind of rip the chakram out of his arm and toss it back to her.
No, that's
You might
magic.
need that.
That magically comes back on its own. It's a chakram of returning, so it wouldn't get stuck. So anyway, make your way back. She's got the treasure. You've got your goods. time is 17:27. You last awoke at 6:19. Wow. One more hour, and you'll be able to sleep down here. So what do you want to do?
Should we investigate this northern door? Eric kind of points to the one that him and Aura almost went through.
Ah, but I already have. There's a set of steps. There is a set of steps beyond the door. I don't know where they go. But it leads to yet another door. And beyond that, spiraling steps go up. I think they go up, or did they go down? I'm not sure.
Tower.
Boop, boop, boop. Where's the description of this damn thing? I'm curious if it goes up or down. What does it say? To intro 3. One second here, I gotta see where it's going. That's above. Alright, so that actually goes up. So beyond this door, she explains there's a set of wide steps that go up. And another door is there. Beyond that door, there's a set of spiraling steps that go even further up. She didn't investigate any further.
Well, should we investigate the tower?
Why don't we rest first before we get deeper into something we don't know yet?
Fair point. This knight could be lurking up there. Let's barricade the doors, take our rest, and then we can investigate the tower.
Alright, you can find refuge. There's all kinds of rags and stuff and pillows in the room to the east there, where you were passed through. You can get sleeping stuff there. If you got bedrolls, that helps too. So you can all get a decent sleep. You don't have your armor on unless you're in watch and want to wear armor. So it's going to take 10 hours.
Yep, and I'll take first watch.
Okay, let's get the watches figured. We've got Eric. Followed by who? Who's on second watch? Actually, I'm only going to do 9 hours.
Rue will go last.
Okay, Dizzy. Alright, all three of you, give me a blind perception roll. Dizzy, give me a perception roll. Thank you. Excellent. Alright, now what I need to know is, where were you sleeping? This room with the fire?
I think we were going to sleep in the room with all the sleeping equipment, unless I'm mistaken.
I just recommended you can get stuff from there. I think Dizzy was very hesitant to be anywhere near that one room with the door. It's roped.
Rue's gonna sleep in near the fire.
Alright, then we can sleep near the fire then.
Okay. Aura's very concerned about no security on the doors, and she asks Celine if you have any magic that can seal these doors and protect it. She heard all kinds of noises out there, howling and screaming, many feet. She was afraid someone was going to break in.
Celine would shake her head and go, I don't have any magic that I can ward against these doors.
Damn it.
I can barricade it.
Okay, you throw up some tables against the door, you barricade it. That makes sense to me. That'll take some time. And we can all settle in. Everyone get rid of 1 ration of food. And I'm going to make some rolls. Wow. Dizzy, during your watch, where exactly would you be in the room? Near a door, near the fire, resting against the fireplace.
Right where she is currently on the board or map.
Right. Do you have her back against the door, perhaps?
Yes.
You do. You hear a lot of noise through the night. Most of it insignificant, not worthy of waking the others. Until right near, you feel, oh, I gotta get some sleep. You hear sniffing. Right behind the door. How do you react?
She'll try to sneakily move away from the door and move towards... Who would be closer to her, Eric or Rue?
They'll tell you.
Eric would kind of be camped over here in this chair, kind of by where it's at. Close to the door with its tower shield propped up against the wall.
Rue would be kind of where he's at right now.
So I'm gonna crawl over to Eric, kind of lightly tap him on the gauntlet, and then tap with her one ear towards the door, trying to signify that something's at the door.
Yeah, he'll roll over and slowly begin to put his armor on.
Right before that happens, as she comes over and starts to nudge you, the latch on the door begins to move, Celine. And as it does, it begins to creak open.
She's already rushing back to the door, trying to close it.
It's barricaded, isn't it?
That's right, it's barricaded. Let's not forget that. Alright, so let's retcon that. You wouldn't be actually up against the door. Let's assume you're near the barricade. You did hear the noises. Move everybody away from the door a little bit because there is a barricade there. So you'd be right here, Dizzy. You did hear the sniffing noise. Something was at the door. You hear the latch. Now you move over to Eric, just as you said. The door isn't locked. It's not... I don't know. I always imagine these doors open outward. So maybe I'll roll the dice for that. Because what's the point of barricading if they could just open it? Alright, you know what? They open inside. You hear the door latch open, and it begins to push up against the barricade.
Celine's already back at the door. She's trying to push it back towards...
Easily done. You move up towards the barricade and kind of push some of the stuff up against the door so that it shuts once again. And then you hear a scream from beyond the door. It sounds like a howl, like a war cry howl, like it was calling to others that something is here. And then you hear silence. The chest just got a 2.
Ignore that. That's personal. You're snoring away.
Yeah, you are.
Eric was awake, so he's beginning to strap on his armor.
All right, that's going to take some time to do. So you're messing around there. The minutes are going by as you start putting on the leggings and the arm things and everything.
If possible, Celine's then gonna give a cry to Rue as close as she can for only him to hear, but not enough to where it would raise alarms outside.
All right. So he wakes up. Aura's up. I've heard these before. I know what it is. Those are those white creatures, those Urdafan, I believe they were called.
Oracle.
I recognize that sound. Didn't these creatures, what are they called, the Kaldari, or what are they, the
Caligny.
Caligny? Didn't they mention that there was war parties of these about? They were trying to kill the Caligny?
Indeed. Well, it seems now they're trying to kill us. Form up, wake the cat, Aura. As he straps on the tower shield, waiting for the next thing to go wrong.
Alright, you put up your weapons, you're all at the ready. She's got her chakram at the ready behind the fireplace. And you hear howls and screams outside of the door, but nothing comes up to the door. By the way, you're losing sleep. This was during the second watch, so you're going to have to spend more time here. Anyway, you hear what sounds like dozens and dozens of footfalls outside the door, but none of them stop at the door. You hear them screaming and wailing, but the feet continue on to the north. And then when everything goes quiet, you hear something pushing on the door. And then in the distance, you hear another howl. And whatever was at the door runs off. Something has distracted them. You're not sure what it is. Then, after a couple minutes go by, you hear what sounds like a war horn. In the distance. And it blows twice. Let's see, where's those perception rolls? Well, you can all make fresh perception rolls. Real quick here. These are blind. Should make one for Aura. I've got Celine, I've got Eric, Aura, and Rue. Rue. Nice. You've heard that horn before, Rue. Something about it. Something not so barbaric. You've heard it before. Battlefields in the past, perhaps. You're not sure. The rest of you have no clue.
Is it something he would be nervous about, or?
You're not sure. You can't place it. But you know it's something you've heard before. Not sure if it's good or bad. Now another few minutes pass by. You don't hear anything at the door. You heard the horn blow a couple times. You heard this horde of creatures. Orif thinks it's Urdafans. They've been trying to get into this place before, while you were gone. And you've been warned about them as well. You know they're around. They're supposed to have one of the lenses. But right now it seems like whatever was outside the door, these Urdafan, whatever, we're distracted. because they didn't come to the door. They ran off from here. So something's afoot. Time could be of the essence, or perhaps it's all nothing. So, what do? You have a choice. You have no rest at all, unless you sleep for another 4 hours. So if you just want to pack it in, tighten the barricade and wait another 4 hours, and that'll be Rue's watch. We could do that. You basically lost an hour of sleep.
Yeah, let's do that so everybody can get their spells, or Claire can get her spell slots back. Eric will kind of go along and reinforce the barricade with these stones up here, and yeah, he'll kind of usher everybody back to sleep.
Okay, that's all good for you. We can do that. I'll make another. I already did that. So yeah, Rue, your watch is last. And I imagine you're pretty cautious at the barricade, listening. You, during your watch, not the first hour of your watch, you're almost positive you hear the clash of battle. Very much in the distance. You hear screams. Weapons against steel. Somebody's fighting. What could it be? That horn. After about 30 minutes, those faint sounds of battle stop. And assuming you do nothing else, you do anything?
No, he just kind of. I mean, unless there's a way for him to get up high where he can, possibly get a look at what's going on. So he's just gonna stay in place and watch over his companions.
All right. There's no windows, no other exits except one to the southeast, which you have not looked through, I don't think. But you're not going to chance that, I guess. And the sounds don't return. The footfalls don't return outside the door. After a few hours of sleep, you're ready to go. You're ready to rumble. It's time to wake your friends. I'll assume you're keeping the fire a little bit glowing in here and warm so people could cook up the rest of their food or whatever, and that sort of thing. So everybody, you get your full night's sleep. That was a close one. That barricade really came in handy. Alright, so get your rest. And get your armor all back on and all that nonsense. Now let me take
Sounds good.
Let me take these tokens off the map. And Celine, you get your spells. Get them all situated and ready to go for the next session. We still have time here. So you guys waken, do your thing. It's now the 15th of Gozran. What would you like to do?
I would like to go out before we take out and see if I can see what happened last night. There was definitely the sounds of battle. I can go out and hopefully remain unseen and see if I can at least scout, see what happened.
All right. Well, everybody
Would
is.
you like me to go with you?
Are you sneaky?
Nope.
There's your answer.
All right, Rue. Turning on the stealth. Go ahead and make a stealth in general right now. And we'll use that. Okay? Okay. You move part of the barricade away, you open one of the doors, and you slip carefully out after a cautious look around. You don't see anything. You're in complete darkness except for the glow of the fungus. I can actually...
It'll take a moment.
Let me
It'll take a
actually...
moment as his eyes adjust. Go ahead.
Let me actually move you out. So can you see from your token?
Yeah.
So whatever you can see is what you see. See your boat to the north?
Sounds about okay. North.
There's a boat up there. But you don't see anything. You don't hear anything. You can move from shadow to shadow, from spot to spot. We'll keep your stealth roll. Normally you'd make a new one every time you move, but we'll stick with the one. And you make your way up to the north, near the boat. Look at the map here. Okay, as you get there, you're well ahead. You're well ahead. You're moving along the base of this tower-like structure that just juts from the ground, from the cavern, almost like as if it was meant to be here, like it was part of the stone itself. But yet it's not. It has this pristine color of brick and mortar all around its base. When you get close to it and you lay hands, your shoulder fur rather, butts up against it. And it feels cold, somehow unnatural. You pull away instinctively from its coldness. You move up a little bit to the east around one of these smaller towers that also extend up into the ceiling out of sight. You're not sure what these are. There's no entrance. There's nothing. Keeping to the shadows, you move to the north. The only route to take. There you see movement. Maybe 10 feet in front of you. You see a ripped apart, torn asunder body. What looks like one of these Udafans. It's weaponless, but its body's ravaged with all kinds of cuts and scrapes and wounds from battle. You could see where its armor that it had been wearing was torn and broken. And it's very fresh. It seems to still be alive, but wait, only briefly. You see its chest rise. And then it's silence. It has expired. If you'd like to move up and make a medicine check and investigate, you can do so, or you could just ignore it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. So move, see if you can tell what was used to kill it.
Go ahead and give me a medicine check as you look at the body and study the wounds. It was battle. The cuts, the bashings, these were weapons that felled this creature, bladed weapons. You also notice that its one leg is broken. Something blunt, maybe shattered it. This creature was in a fight for its life. Not against a monster per se, but something that wielded weapons. And again, they're very fresh. The fatal blow was a blow that pierced its chest from the lower abdomen upward, as if it stabbed into its heart. But it had enough life into it to make its way here, as you see a trail of blood and crawling tracks leading from, I should say, the northwest, or the northeast, rather, up towards this direction.
He'll take a look around, see if you can find any kind of remnants or remains, body, torn, cabbage, whatever, what they may have fought against.
If you'd like to move from his spot, you can do so if you want to look around.
Well, he's going to look from where he's at.
It's hard to see outside of the glowing things. You can't make any details. If you move up to the fungus, you would see brighter around those areas. That's why I asked you if you want to move up there. That's up to you if you want to do that. The lighting is so bad here, you can't see anything beyond this body.
Yeah, he'll maintain his stealth and he'll.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You could see from that position to the north, where it's glowing the brightest. The northeast, I should say, up in this direction. You can see where this creature was coming from. So, if you remember, up in that direction, you and your friends came from that direction. It's not where the dragon was, but it's up where, there was some nasty creatures. It was this route that takes you to that strange double doors that were locked. So it's possible these creatures were coming or going to that direction. There must have been some battle, and this creature somehow escaped certain death to only die here at the base of this tower.
At this point, we will turn around and head back to the companion.
Yeah, you're out there. You're chancing it, brother. I like it. A little roguish going on here. Give yourself a hero point. I know it's late in the session, but still, give yourself a hero point. Because I like roguish stuff. We need more rogues. Alright. You make your way back. Climb over the barricade. Suddenly there's a chakram flying through the air. Aura whips it towards you. Go ahead.
He'll announce himself before you mess with the door, and he'll come in, get back through.
There you go. There you go.
And once he gets back in, he'll let them know he found the corpse of the Eurofon, that it died recently. Wounds were done by the weapons of warriors, apparently creatures with skill. No signs of the attackers, but they did come from the direction of the double doors. The ones we could not get through.
Perhaps our wandering knight.
There was also a war horn during the night, sign of battle. I believe it was one single individual. It's possible, but I don't believe so.
To fight that many, one would have to be particularly skilled in arms.
You all heard the footfalls in the horn, right? I think you were all awake when that happened, right?
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
Seems we know where we need to go now. Let's see if we can pick up the trail of these other Orifons. They're the next target we need to engage.
Okay, you gather yourselves up. Preparing yourselves to move out. Do you have any idea to what direction you're going to go?
Well, do we want to head back northeast and see if maybe we can find a trail of these Orifons?
Well, they were heading tunnel to the northeast. Continue that way together. Perhaps we'll find out more.
Indeed, let's take a look.
Aura slips out the door. Right. Quick! I found
We'll
her.
follow.
I found their tracks, Aura declares. As y'all step outside to her call, she can see what's going on here. She has figured that there might have been a dozen or so of these creatures, which are humanoid feet, big feet, bigger than a human's foot, but they're definitely humanoid, clawed. And they're heading north. She could see it, obviously. But more important is where they're coming from. And she can see where they're coming from. And it leads to the south, along the shoreline. And it looks like they continue along the shoreline. So let me put everybody back in the thing here. And if you want, I could take you to where it leads. Now, as you come across the shoreline here, you hear in the distance, you can hear an occasional splash in this otherwise stagnant water. And Rue, you're keeping watch in the back as usual. You notice this right away. But
I think the torch is invisible.
There you go. See it now?
Yeah, got it.
I'm zoomed way out. I can't see it. All right, so this is where you are, and it's right at this point that you see all these feet traveling further south. And as you close in, just towards this glow, you see what looks like a wide cavern entrance in the distance. And it's a disgusting sight, Eric. The walls are splashed with ochre and scarlet images as you get closer, in a riot of violent and obscene symbols. Stakes around this entrance hold up skulls, dismembered parts of strange creatures, and who knows what else.
Yeah, Eric's got his sword and shield at the ready.
Rue would ready his weapon.
All right. As you approach and get closer, suddenly jumping out of the fungus near you, right to the right, you see one. One of these creatures stands out. Ah! And also one behind you, near you, Rue, you see another one appear, cracking these nasty-looking whips. Let me see. Oh, yes. And as... We'll leave it at that. We'll go into initiative. I don't want to do any more with them. I'm going to give you guys a chance to react to this, but this will be for the next session. So let's get everybody set for the next session. Because I don't think you guys want to push on. I know Rachel's not here, and we usually end at 10:15.
Yeah. Don't feel right to not have her here.
Oh, she's here. She's here. I'm playing her, man. I'm having a good time. But let's put you guys in marching order. I don't want you that close. Let me put you a little bit back. Celine, you're second, right? Or are you third? Where are you? You're third.
Third.
And then we've got Aura. And then we've got Kyle's character, Sir Eric. Alright, so this is the encounter. You see these two females with whips. They look like Erdefan to you. They look like the others. And Rue, you would recognize them as well. Just like that body, these look like female versions of that creature you saw. Alright, these pasty, pale looking things. And let's put everybody in initiative and roll that. Everyone's going to get a +1 because of Eric.
You know what? Since it's late in the session, I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll that. Might as well.
If it mattered, it didn't add the +1, but it should be at 37.
Should be at 28.
Should I change it for you?
Yeah, for some reason it wouldn't let me add it.
All right, Aura. She gets a +1. She's actually 23. And Kyle, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Right
Should
there.
have been 28.
28. Okay, my friend. Let me give you a 28. All right. Is everybody good? Dizzy, you're good?
You should get 37.
Oh boy.
Good.
37. All right. So let's click begin the encounter and see where we all set. All right, Rue, you're going to be starting things off. Cat-like reflexes. You get the jump on these bad boys, or bad girls. Followed by Celine, and Eric, and Aura bringing up the rear. So, it looks like you might have found the entrance to the Urdefan. That's what it looks like. Judging from these scribbles and this cavern entrance, that's what it looks like. Or maybe not. But there's some guards to contest with. We'll see how that goes in the next session. So yeah, pretty good session. Pretty nice, pretty exciting. We'll see what happens in the next one. Let's do our outros and get ourselves ready for the next session. What'd you think, Kyle? What'd you think?
Yeah, think it went good. You know, had a couple really good combats. That lizard, wasn't expecting it to come be popping through the mud, and then those two specters were really good. Yeah. Outside of that, everybody kind of did what they needed to do. It's starting to become a well-oiled machine now.
How about you, Dizzy?
Things took a different turn than what I was expecting.
Yeah?
And
How so? What threw you off?
kind of struggling to keep the will to actually stay awake, so words are kind of eluding me right now.
Long session for you tonight. Okay. All right. How about you, Ted?
Really, the unpredictable nature of the barbarian. The lizard, I was kind of having some fun with. I mean, a cat, a lizard, he's going to chase after. He's going to go at it. That was kind of that there. Wouldn't really need to rage. He didn't rage for that one. He wouldn't have raged for the ghost if he hadn't got hit. That kind of what set him off there. And y'all don't know, but I sit here and I do random dice rolls kind of to see which way Rue goes with certain things.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went the way where he got hit, he got mad, so he raged.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things that add some fun to it. There at the end, the whole scouting roguish thing. Definitely want to take advantage of that. That's a part of Rue that
was great.
Doesn't get brought up a lot. It's one of those little hidden gems that he's got that roguish ability to do that. He's got that training and skill. Overall, it was good. I think everybody did good. Decent set. The decent session was good. Good overall.
Yeah, I liked it. It was different. My favorite part was the stealth part. That was great. That's thinking outside the box and not limiting yourself to your class. I felt bad for Kyle because I knew his answer as soon as he asked that. I knew your answer. Because he's armored, he's got a big ass shield. He'd have to strip down bare naked to get any stealth on that little journey. But then, what's the point, right? So yeah, that was good.
And that's kind of the loss of doing things like this, is not
Mm-hmm.
seeing the expression. Because when Rue asked it, it was really a rhetorical question because he knew what it was. He likely had a sly smirk on his face when he was asking it, because he already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he wasn't going to be rude about it and flat out say no. So,
You know, that's
um,
that's one of the things I miss about old D&D is being able to like if you didn't have like a rogue in your group, you could just go hire one. You could do that. You could hire a rogue, one of your hirelings, henchmen or whatever. I don't think they're henchmen. I think they're hirelings, retainers or something.
yeah.
They're pricey, but you can hire classed NPCs to come join you, and they usually get part of the treasure and stuff. But you know, it's really not part of the game anymore. I mean, it could be if you role play it, but you did good with your panther. I think the cat man here, I'm noticing. I don't know if you notice or anyone else notices, but it's very. I don't know if it's your dice, but it seems like your character is very like he's good and then he's horrible. He's good and then he's horrible. I don't know if that's the nature of your
That's more the dice than anything.
the dice.
Yeah.
So it's you.
Number generators, random number generators typically don't like. So I don't roll very well a lot of the times. But when he does, it's good stuff. Like Rue is mainly a barbarian, but I also multi-class him into rogue a little bit. So he's trained in stealth. He's trained in thievery. He's got these things that you wouldn't normally expect a barbarian to have. So there are times like this where it's now, bring out that surprise and kind of showcase that a little bit. He's more than just, this raging ball of fur. There's more to this guy.
Kyle, you're happy with tonight's performance? It was different for you too.
Yeah, kind of approach that combat a different way.
A little different.
That's the joy of making a person with a tactful mind. That's not a soldier, he's a knight. So he's going to approach every situation different. Some nights it's going to be attack, raise shield, take cover. Some nights it's going to be like tonight where he feels a little bit more confident in his ability to engage a target. So he's not going to be relying so much on the shield. Like, he's still going to raise it. But it changes and ebbs, because every combat has a different feel, a different way, a different, flow to it.
Adaptability.
And I've kind of finally made a character that kind of goes with that.
Yeah. How about missile weapons?
Don't have any.
Yeah, you know what's a good missile weapon that you don't have to like give up your shield and all that? It's the javelin. Javelins are really good. I like javelins. Yeah. I mean, you could charge and use the damn thing. You have about 5 of them in your back, you can pull them out and whip them.
Yeah, chuck them.
All right, folks, we're going to call it here. And it's a good session. I enjoyed it. Dizzy was a little bit off tonight. She's tired. All understandable. And Rachel missed a good session. Put a little character into Aura tonight. Gave her a little bit of a character anyway. I don't know if she'll continue with that. That's up to her. But I'll let her know. I'll let her know there's a thing with Drow playing in her head. She's very much... I think her character really is just to get in the face of the enemy as quickly as possible. And I think I played that. Although she was protective of Celine in the end. Kind of shadow moded her there. And, yeah, good fun. So, folks, hope you enjoyed. We're going to be back again next week. Same bad time. And, like always, you guys hang in there. You know why? It's only going to get better. We'll see you again soon. Take care.